Business of Property podcast. I'm Simon, and I've been investing in property for over 20 years. And if you're an active landlord or planning your next property investment, this podcast is for you. It's the start of a new month, so this week I'm going to review some key property metrics from February, and perhaps here or there consider what March might have in store for us. So let's get started with some positive news initially. And that is looking at new property listing prices for 3-bed homes. Now you might have just noticed that I flicked over in the video recording, if you're watching this on YouTube, that there is some March data that doesn't look so good, but that's because it's only a day or so of March, so it's not really enough data to actually rely on anything as I'm recording this. So we are looking at February data, and the average new listing price for a 3-bed home in February was £337,862. And this is positive, because that's up from £335,245 last February, which is an increase of £2,617. But in percentage terms, that's only 0.8% up over the year. So perhaps not quite as good as the fact that it has gone up, but it has gone up. So not terrible, at least. But to dampen things down a little bit further, the market did see 18% of active listings get a price reduction this February. And that compares with only 15% last February. So that would suggest the market was a bit stronger last year than it is now. Last year also saw price reductions push up to 18% in March. So it'll be interesting to see if this March also sees a rise, but going up from the 18% that it's already at. So if the market is a bit weaker at the moment, perhaps we'll see at least something similar in 2025 with more price reductions coming through. I think that does seem a distinct possibility, unfortunately. Getting back into slightly more positive news again, older stock does seem to be clearing. The average number of days a property sold in February was on the market for is down to 70, and that's 5 better than last year. So based on historic data, normally this trend continues to sort of come down in March, and I think that probably looks like it's going to continue this year, assuming we don't see too much of a bump from changes coming in April. More on that in a moment. The rate of property fall-throughs is always too high. I think we have a bit of a problem with that in this country, but it's not currently looking any higher than normal. So that is good, at least. There's no obvious sign so far of any fallout from the stamp duty changes that are obviously coming in April, as I just hinted at. But that's certainly something to keep an eye out for in March, I think. Hopefully, it doesn't cause enough of an issue to really see much of a bump, but I suspect there will be some increase in fall-throughs from that. And of course, you might be able to find some bargains around from people who are really wanting to sell, who do get let down, or just to sort of help keep chains alive and support multiple people in the process of completing their sales. Of course, if there are more fall-throughs coming through in March, and some of those people do decide they want to try and accept a lower price to actually secure that sale sooner rather than later, then this could all help feed into a bump in price reductions during March. So I think that probably does look relatively likely at this point, unfortunately. So that was a very quick look at some of the key property sale market details. But just to finish up today, a very quick look at rents. They're generally still looking healthy, up around £50 per month on average for a 3-bed home, with the average listing price at the moment being £1,605. And as a percentage basis, that also doesn't look too bad, a little bit higher than inflation. So all fairly healthy there on the rent side, but not going too crazy. So hopefully things are relatively stable in the rental market. If you would like to see the latest market data every week, you can join either the Business of Property mailing list or indeed the PATMA mailing list as well to get the latest England-wide data arrive in your mailbox every Monday morning. You can find links to both mailing lists in the show notes for this episode. And obviously the Business of Property mailing list can be found on thebusinessofproperty.com. Or to be able to dig into the market data in more depth, both nationally, as we've been looking at here on England-wide level, and in your local area, you can, of course, subscribe to PATMA's Deal Finder Pro, which costs less than £40 per month. That's it for today. Thank you very much for listening, and I look forward to speaking to you again next time.